We will now begin Kentucky's postgame news conference. We are joined by Kentucky head coach Nick Minginoe, infielder Riley Mahan, pitcher Sean Hjelle, and outfielder Zach Rex. Coach, we will start you with an opening statement about today's win.
Well, I'll tell you guys this, I'm a really good coach when that guy on the end of the table is pitching. He makes it really easy. And there's a reason why he's the SEC Pitcher of the Year. He did tonight what he basically did every time he's out for our team. He gave us a chance to win. 8 out of his last 9 starts, he's had given up 3 runs or less. 8 out of his last 9 starts, that guy in the end has given up 3 runs or less. So really proud of him, really proud of our defense. You know, I've been talking all year about pitching and defense, and that's what wins championships. That's what won us the game again today, because of the way these guys defended. So I thought our offense was relentless. I thought you saw our offense in the very first inning. This guy right here is down 2 strikes, and with 2 outs, he hits a double, and we proceed to score 2 runs when we were down to our last strike in the first inning. So this guy is a perfect example, along with the rest of these guys, about how we're never out of the game, we'll never stop competing, and they're going to do everything we can to give us a chance to win. I want to thank the Big Blue Nation. That was awesome. Awesome. Our guys looked up and all the people, and it was just so much blue. I'm just so proud because these young men have done everything we've asked them to do. And when my wife and I took the job here, that's exactly what I pictured. You guys saw it.
We'll now open questions for the student athletes only, please, at this time. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Go ahead.
Riley, you're known for being such an encourager. What did you say to Sean and the love when you went out to the mound?
At times it looked like they were just trying to do too much, and they're at their best when they just put in their strikes in and they let the defense work behind it and they let their stuff take over. So they had some big misses. So Tyler and Marshall did a great job today going in there and taking control of situations. But every time we went in there, we just made sure they were relaxed and took a deep breath, and they got right back in the strike zone. I think almost every time we took them out.
Alan.
Hey, Sean, without being modest, talk about your performance today.
Well, Coach already touched on it. We've been playing defense all year, and I think my defense has showed up just about every start I've had, and it's really relaxing and comforting knowing that. I think we had 3 or 4 diving plays that were finished, that were made. So it's really comforting, and my job is to go up there and get swings and put the ball in play and just keep the team in a position to win, and defense just finishes the rest for me. And playing behind the best offense in the world, it's pretty comforting.
It's too modest.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Awesome.
Yeah, Sean, back to you. Up until you were relieved, was that lineup as easy as it looked?
No lineup in college baseball is easy. You still got to execute your plan and just trust it and trust your stuff and go through and keep an open dialogue. It's really key for me, and I think for our team, is just keep an open dialogue with the defense and with Troy behind the plate and Coach Bellinger in the dugout. So no lineup is easy to go through, especially at this point in the year. Everybody's made it to the playoffs, so they're fighting for their lives.
They talk about how difficult it was.
It's just our plan has been the same just about every single game. We've tailored it to a couple different hitters here and there, depending on the team and depending on the hitter. But our plan stays pretty much the same, and just going out there and trusting that plan and executing it.
Go ahead.
You guys forced Klein to throw 93 pitches for Riley and Zach, and you took 9 walks. What was the approach at the plate today, and how comfortable were you today?
Riley, will you start?
Yeah. Well, I think that all started off with his at bat. He goes down 0-2 and he grinds it out and gets the double, and then he allows Becker to come up and have a good at bat, and it just trickles down from there. And I think our offense has done a really good job all year of picking each other up. We talk about it all the time, but I think as the game went on, we got better about getting in hitters counts and working counts in our favor, and then not missing pitches when we had a chance.
Zach.
I think that it all builds off of communication with our team. Just discussing the strikes amongst each other and kind of getting a feel for his pitches and letting everybody know kind of what was going on up there and what to expect. And just as far as the plan goes, just grind them out and just keep on getting the strike zone established and getting your pitch.
John Clay.
For you guys, how important was it to win the first game? Kentucky hasn't. Last few times they've been in the tournament, they haven't won the first game. Just to win the first game and not be in that position, situation elimination game the next time you play?
Well, this is my third year here, so these guys have been through it 1 year, but it's been a long time coming. We've been wanting so bad to get into a regional, and to host is a huge deal for us, and it was so cool to see all the fans out there. But like you said, Kentucky hasn't won that first game, so the first game is pivotal, and we're in the winners bracket now. So I think that's huge for our team and our team going forward. It's going to be a big time deal for us.
Zach, can you answer that too?
I mean, like Riley said, it's just a big win for us, and we're just going to take every game with a grain of salt and come back tomorrow and just try to approach it the same way every day.
Alan?
To the hitters, do you guys know you were 7 of 14 with 2 outs? It's a ridiculous stat. 500.
We say all the time we like to believe we're the best team in the country with 2 outs, and a lot of teams get 2 quick outs and they feel like their inning's over. But when we get 2 quick outs, we know that our inning's just getting started because the pitcher's most vulnerable when there's 2 quick outs.
Derek?
For Riley or Zach, you guys were talking a little bit about communication in the dugout. A couple of the players from Ohio said that they thought the strike zone was tighter than usual. Is that something you guys thought and communicated?
Zach, will you start?
Yeah, I mean, we just, whether it's a ball off, 2 balls off, is he calling it or not, I mean, we just try to make sure that we're open to each other and kind of just establish what we're going to expect up there from the umpire so we can adjust to it throughout our at-bats of the game.
Yeah, I think, looking back, I thought he had a pretty good zone. It was tight, standing back behind the pitcher from second base. You can see some borderline pitches and stuff, but, with TrackMan, we'll be able to see what he missed and what he got right. But I thought he had a solid zone. He was definitely consistent. I think that was the biggest thing. And, our guys did a great job, relaying the message and letting everybody know where he's at.
Got time for a couple more, but we'll start with Dick Gabriel in the back.
Back 2 years ago, you were at home with the Cowboys watching this on TV. What was it like to run out there and see the banners and the crowd and all that stuff?
It was really cool. I mean, there's not really a feeling I could describe to some people that I get when I'm out there, but it's just a feeling of gratitude. I'm grateful for the opportunity and seeing the Big Blue Nation out there. I mean, I've been here a long time too, just in school, and just seeing us out there like that was just an incredible experience for our players.
So what did it mean to get that big hit when you had it?
I just said it's about time.
Kind of a follow-up question to that. And what Coach was speaking on earlier for all 3 players. Can you talk about how it felt to walk out here as well today and see BB everywhere and embrace this environment?
Let's start with Sean.
It's what we've been talking about since day one. We set our goals out day one. Coach has been saying Omaha since then. And coming out here and fully experiencing that, you can get an image in your head of what it might be. During practice leading up to it, you can kind of see. But coming out for the first time and seeing that and just realizing that that's what we've been talking about since day one was a pretty rewarding feeling, and it's only going to get more rewarding from here on out.
Riley and Zach, anything to add on that?
Coach Mitch mentioned it in practice the other day. He said, look around, take it all in, see what's there. New bleachers, new banners, new posters, all that stuff. I mean, it's different, and I thought our guys did a really good job of taking it in and taking it for what it is, but putting it to the back of their head. They're not paying too much attention to stuff like that. And, regardless of how many fans would have showed up today, I think we were going to come out and play our game. And I mean, we were just very fortunate to have all Big Blue Nation behind us today.
With that, we'll let the players go get rested up for tomorrow. So you are dismissed, guys. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
We'll now open the floor to questions for head coach. Go ahead, Joe.
Nick, you talked about wanting to throw Sean, give yourself the best chance to win that first game. How important was it now that you've got that result?
Yeah, I think you guys saw it. I've been fortunate enough to play in the postseason a bunch, and for whatever reason, the first game is hard. They're all hard at this point, but I've been down that road before where you're trying to make decisions on not throw. I mean, there's a reason why. I think you guys saw, I told you guys all week how good of a team Ohio was. And yeah, they walked 9 guys and they did some things, but they gave them a chance. They had a chance in the 9th inning with the tying run at the plate. And I knew that's how they were going to be. They're just tough, competitive. They defended the field great. They didn't make an error all day. And so that's really important. It was really, really important.
Alex.
Riley was saying that you guys feel like you're the best team with 2 outs in the country. Where did that mindset come from? How did you have to foster that aggressive mentality at the plate?
You know what? From the second I I got hired and our staff was here, we've always told our guys, we'll never stop competing. It doesn't matter. We could be down to the last out, the last strike. It doesn't matter until the third out's made. That's what's so awesome about our sport. There's other sports where there's a time clock and time just run out. You go, you know what, man, if we just had another 5 seconds or 3 seconds. Our sport's different. Our sport's different. It's never over until the last out's made. And that goes to the last strike. And to Zach's credit and our team's credit, you know what? And I remember Zach Pop early in the year just kept bringing it up to our team coach. We just scored 2 more runs with no outs. This whole inning started with nobody out. It's like our team noticed it themselves. But the mindset and approach of never stop competing was something we put in immediately.
Derek?
In the 8th inning with Sean, what was those conversations like if you're going to send him back out and once it did go back out and allow those runs?
Oh yeah, so Sean, you know, he's on 8 days rest, and every time he's ever had that extra day's rest, he's thrown great. So he was at 102 pitches. They got a couple singles, and then obviously the left-hander ran the ball out of the yard. But to me, he was cruising. I mean, I think you guys would agree. I mean, at that point, I think they only had 3 hits in the game. Sure, he had some walks, but man, I thought he was throwing a ton of strikes, and even before, it might have been his best inning of the game.
Go ahead.
What's on tap for this evening? Will the team be watching the IU NC State game?
So I basically instructed them to stay out of the sun. And that I didn't want them at the ballpark here. So if they wanted to watch, they can, but I want them to watch on their computers or their tablets or their phones. And I wanted them to spend time with each other. I said, hey, I know you guys have a lot of families and friends in town, but it would be great if you guys spend time with each other and watch the game and stay out of the sun.
Jeff?
Follow up on that. It's a little bit of a different atmosphere weather-wise than what you played virtually the whole season in. Do you have to do anything special for the guys with the heat aside of it?
You know what? That's so funny you said that. And I came home and I told Kristen this a couple weeks ago. Gunnar McNeil came up to me a couple weeks ago and goes, Coach, you know what? One of the best things you've done with our program? And I'm like, man, this I don't know what Gunnar's thinking here, right? And I'm like thinking student, person, player, family, winning, development, like our game goals, learning and competing. He's like, hydration, Coach, hydration. I'm like, really? He's like, Coach, you don't realize, but you know, it's really easy to get dehydrated. So, believe it or not, that's been the message: is how important to stay hydrated. It is. So, obviously, being in the last week in Birmingham, the weather and temperatures were pretty similar the last couple days. So. They'll get hydrated, they'll stay fresh and sharp, and be ready to go tomorrow night.
Go ahead, John.
Do you have an idea for your pitching plan tomorrow, or will that depend on who wins?
Yeah, we'll see who wins. We'll see who wins, and we'll watch tonight. Obviously, we've studied a lot of video, but haven't fully made a decision yet.
Joe.
You kind of brought up your memories from 2006 quite a bit. How did today stack up against kind of those memories you had in your head?
Yeah, this was exactly what we talked about. And when Kristen and I talked about this job, I basically said, Kristen, I promise we can win here, and we can host regionals, and we can do it. And I didn't know how many people would show up. And as that game went on and I saw all those people, I was just so thankful and appreciative of the Big Blue Nation, because, you know, it's 12 o'clock on a Friday. There's a lot of people, right? Like, you're looking around going like, shouldn't these people be at work? Right? Maybe they got my letter on social media, but it was really neat. I just cannot thank our fans enough, because Mitch Barnhart and the rest of our athletic department, all they've done is made commitments to every sport, and I was just really happy to see that everybody was here and supporting our young men.
Oscar.
When Trot hit the home run in the 8th inning and cut the score in half, what was your thinking at that point? Did you think about after did you change before then?
No, not prior, but we had Chris ready to go. So we had him hot, and Coach Bellinger went out there and talked to him, and obviously set up the game plan. And to his credit, man, he swung at the first pitch and hit that thing a long way. But we had Chris ready, and he had maybe a batter or 2 left. And then obviously at that point, when he gave up the home run, we just brought in Chris.
The home run went over the right field wall there. You ever seen a pitch in this ballpark over that wall?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your last question.
The right field wall, where it says "We Are UK."
Yes, sir.
The home run went over that wall.
Yes, sir.
You've seen a pitch, a hit in this ballpark go over that wall.
Oh, yes, sir. I've seen a lot. Yes, sir.
And your impressions with that?
With the home run? Oh, I just knew that it was at that time we had to make a pitching change.
Any other questions for Coach Minginoe? Go ahead, Derek.
Riley was, I can't remember one of the questions, but we were talking about how Riley said sometimes maybe Sean was doing too much, but for the day he only had 3 strikeouts, so it seemed like he was more so pitching to contact. Is that what?
Yeah, hey Derek, I thought, and he got a lot of quick outs. I think their approach, I think they, if I had to guess watching the game, I think they thought he was a strike thrower and he was going to ram the ball in the strike zone, and he got a lot of swings early. And that's why his pitch count was where it was at, through 7. And I just thought that helped us out a little bit, right? That they wanted to come out swinging. And I thought that's how we were able to move the game along and how he was able to get to the 7th.
Got time for 2 more. We'll start with Jeff.
Their pitcher made an interesting observation about your lineup, compared it to football, a team that runs the ball and chews up the time of possession. Is that the kind of relentlessness that you talk about?
Right. So, you guys heard me talk before about offense, and there's just a lot of key pieces to offense. What does that mean, right? So, I think the best football programs, if you're talking about football, they run the ball, they pass the ball, they have the option, they can run off tackle, they can run off guard, like you name it. Like you have to prepare for a ton of things, and I feel like that's what our offense does. So, I think what he was talking about is our strike zone discipline. Right, it was just like every marginal pitch, our hitters would lay off, and we wouldn't chase, and so I guess I could see if I'm in the other dugout how it just feels like, man, they have the ball all game, right? It's like we're winning the time of possession, and today, based on the umpire strike zone and the pitchers that they threw against us, I thought that was going to win us the game, and it ultimately did.
Right.
Coach, how important is it to start hot, start in the winner's bracket, and do what you want to do again?
So I asked Matt this, is this the second time ever in school history that we've ever won the first game in a regional? We've been playing baseball for, I think it's over 100-something years, right? This is the second time ever. I think we've ever won the first game of a regional. So being fortunate enough to play in the postseason a bunch, you have to win. You can come back after not winning the first game, but boy, does it make your life a lot easier, especially if you win the first game, and even more importantly, if you can win the first 2, it sets you up, because then obviously you got to be beat twice.